Hey, what's the deal, man? It's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? Like right now, I am outside here in J Street Metro Tech. You know what I mean? I'm just here enjoying the view. You know, I actually got NXT DVR, right now. So when I get to the crib, I'm gonna watch it and everything. This is basically an unexpected topic that I decided to come up with, and but I love doing these kind of things because when things pop up, when questions and things of that nature pop up, questions and topics pop up, I love giving my opinions on stuff because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are thinking the exact same way that I'm thinking. Especially when it comes down to wrestling, right? Like I'm a sports fan. You know what I mean? Like wrestling is not only the main, it's not only the sport I love. I'm a basketball fan, you know what I'm saying? I'm a football fan. I love my New York Giants. I'm a baseball fan too. You know what I mean? Like when it comes, damn, she got a fat ass. I'm right here in front of, Five Guys to see some girl that, goddamn, when it comes down to basketball, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not a Knicks fan like that, but I fuck with them at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they got Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, and that should be something, and my Giants won, and I see the Mets won too. So I am a big sports fan, but I also love pro wrestling, right? And I love giving my opinions on stuff, especially with topics that come up unexpectedly. And this topic basically came up unexpectedly after I seen a video, the review from Raw last night from JD from New York, right? Now, this was after he was talking about Raw. And someone asked him this question: who do you think you'll be able to see first go back to WWE from AEW? Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, or Jon Moxley? And he said Chris Jericho in the Hall of Fame. And I have to agree but also disagree, and I'm going to tell you why. So, I do believe Chris Jericho will be back in WWE, especially next year. His contract is up in 2025. He's not hitting like he was before, and he doesn't seem motivated. He doesn't. It seemed like, Chris Jericho basically lost that energy in that match. Not the match. When I mean match, I mean like that. He lost that energy and that, that fire that he had when AEW first started, right back in 2019. So he's trying to stay relevant, to still keep his career going. And, it's been a lot. Like now he's gone from one of the focal points of AEW, one of the high focal points of AEW, to now one of the lowlights of AEW, right? And of course, that's not fair, because Chris Jericho has put a lot into this business, a lot, and I do feel like they are going to, at some point, part ways. Chris Jericho and AEW they're eventually gonna part ways, and Chris Jericho, like everyone has an ego. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has a fucking ego in wrestling. Chris Jericho has, an ego. He's not just gonna call it a career just like that. And I can see him, in WWE, with not only a Hall of Fame induction, but also I can see him wrestling a couple matches, because I know how WWE is. WWE is not going to bring in somebody to retire under their umbrella when they're active competitor and a big name. That doesn't make sense. That clearly doesn't make sense. What I know is going to happen is Chris Jericho is going to wrestle, right? He's going to be put in the Hall of Fame, right? He's going to wrestle, right? Do I see him wrestling a lot? No, but I do see him wrestling, a few matches that's worth it. That's clearly worth it. He's going to, put people over and everything. And he's going to have his finale match, more than likely probably at WrestleMania, because of how important Chris Jericho is to the industry. and it makes sense, and you know what? I could also see him doing Saudi shows too. I can also see Chris Jericho do shows in Saudi Arabia, right? Because that's basically what that event, kind of entails. Not only isn't, those are achievement, events, but also those are events where, out the box shit happens, right? Especially for a good amount of money. And I can see Chris Jericho, actually have matches in Saudi Arabia. It's inevitable, I'm not gonna, it does, like I said, it does not make fucking sense to have Chris Jericho retire in WWE just like that after he, wrestled actively, especially if he's a big name. That's actually wrestler malpractice. That's like if Sting wouldn't have wrestled a match in WWE. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give the fans what the fuck they want. And Triple H knows this. Paul Levesque knows this. And this is why I feel like Chris Jericho, at some point, more than likely next year, is going to call it a career in AEW. Not a career in the sense of, pro wrestling, but a career from his shit. You know what I mean? From AEW. I strongly feel like Chris Jericho, will be back in WWE. That is for sure. That is clearly for sure. Right? And he's going to have, and I think he's also going to be motivated. I think, with this version of Chris Jericho now, with the learning tree and everything, nothing is working because I think the energy of AEW is kind of shifted. And he's not really, he's not motivated like he once was. He's not really in that, he's not in that mode where he can easily turn up a notch. I mean, it's like he doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, he's out of shape and everything else. I think, with, back to the WWE, I think he'd be a whole lot motivated to not only get himself in shape, but also, like, he'll also be able to give you the best version of himself. I mean, look at Kurt Angle. Best example, look what happened when Kurt Angle came back. All right, there was a different Kurt Angle. All right, fuck it, fine. But he still came back. He had to come back home. I mean, he had to come back home and he had to get a true retirement match, right? Same thing with Chris Jericho. You want to know something? The Chris Jericho that we seen this year in CMLL, it was a completely different version of than what we seen in AEW TV. You know what I mean? With the learning tree shit and things of that nature. I think with Chris Jericho, I feel like, him going back to WWE, again, he'll be motivated. He'll be in shape. He'll get everything done the way he needs to. And I've seen a lot of people don't realize that. And not only that, but also, the fans' reaction will prompt them to come back for not only one more match, but also one more run. I mean, shit, if you got fucking Goldberg coming back, right? If you got fucking Bill Goldberg coming back, why the fuck you think Chris Jericho won't do it? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fucking make sense. Like I said, I do not see Chris Jericho just retiring from active wrestling without getting one more WWE run and a retirement match. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't look right, and it just doesn't feel right. And as far as the other two competitors that was named, I mean, I definitely same shit, same exact shit. I don't see, even if Bryan Danielson comes back, to WWE in the Hall of Fame, I think he'll probably have one more match left. Because I know WWE is not going to allow, somebody who, just to have, a match in another company, especially a rival company, and they don't get that last match ceremony. They're not going to do that. They are clearly not going to do that. And again, like that, I'm going to find out some names that Chris Jericho could probably put over if he was going to get that match, especially at Mania. I mean, there's definitely some NXT names, Definitely someone like Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker would be perfect for Chris Jericho to put over. He would be fucking perfect. Like names like that. Damn, why the fuck I can't? Carmelo Hayes. Another name who would be perfect for Chris Jericho to put over. You know what I mean? So again, it's like Chris Jericho is not motivated. He's not. He's not. Nobody's motivated in AEW. If it's WWE, again, I think it'd be, a brand new, fresh start and everything else. I can definitely see it. I just don't see him just going into the Hall of Fame just like that. That doesn't make sense, B. That doesn't make sense. So I'm about to be out, guys. This video is going to be loaded up at about between 11:30 and 12 o'clock. All right, so because I gotta do some more packing and stuff. So I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, so peace.